newspapers sensationalize Tut's curse and report when a premature death strikes anyone who enters the tomb. Multiple men are later killed by gunshot, including an Egyptian prince who was shot in the head by his wife. One man is smothered to death with a pillow in a gentleman's club, and archaeologist Hugh Evelyn White dies by suicide, reportedly leaving a note that says,
"I have succumbed to a curse, which forces me to disappear."
The curse of King Tut is one of the great unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. But is the curse real, or is it just a series of unfortunate tragedies? In 2003, two London physicians, Sharif and Tariq El-Tawil, publish a letter in the Lancet Medical Journal proposing a possible origin for the notorious curse. The unexpected culprit? Fungus. It is believed that a toxic fungus could have festered for centuries in the tomb, just waiting for Carter's crew to breathe it in. This could explain the deaths that were caused by respiratory diseases and pneumonia. Some say that toxic fungus is the true culprit in the curse of King Tut's tomb. But there's one problem with that theory. It doesn't explain the death of the very first man inside, Howard Carter. Despite rumors of a curse on King Tut's tomb, archaeologist Howard Carter continues to catalog and examine the tomb until 1932. That's a solid decade of getting on the wrong side of the pharaoh. What happens to him? Well, nothing for a long time. Carter, the man most responsible for the excavation and the first one into the tomb, does die relatively young at age 64, passing away from lymphoma. That isn't a condition a fungus could cause. If there were a curse on King Tut's tomb, did it miss its main target? Or could there be some other unseen force at play? In 2024, a scientific paper makes a different case for the pharaoh's curse: poisonous radon. Bioarchaeologist Rosalind Campbell has studied the theory and believes it makes sense. Radioactive gas could explain the mysterious deaths.
So the symptoms of radon poisoning can be very similar or identical to the symptoms of different types of cancers. One of the things that we know about limestone is it emits radon, which is a radioactive gas. And in the Valley of the Kings, all of the tombs are cut into the naturally occurring limestone that makes up this valley. Normally, this isn't necessarily a huge problem, but if you're in an area with a lot of limestone and very poor ventilation, then you are being exposed to potentially unsafe levels of radon that can cause serious health problems. Tutankhamun's tomb is actually unusually small for a royal tomb. They would have been in daily contact with a lot of this limestone that was emitting radon gas. And we do see, for example, various other people who worked in that tomb also were diagnosed with cancer, and Howard Carter died of lymphoma. So radon might have caused very serious health concerns over the years and eventually led to the death of these individuals.
The curse of the tomb of King Tut has fascinated and frightened adventurers for over a century. Did Howard Carter and his team die because of an honest-to-goodness Egyptian curse? Well, the newest evidence suggests the shocking string of deaths may have been caused by a hidden earthly power, be it fungus or radioactive gas. Still, that doesn't explain the visitors who were shot, smothered, or committed suicide. Today, though, most of the tomb's 5,000 artifacts are housed at the Grand Egyptian Museum. Tutankhamun himself is sealed in an airtight case, with no signs of danger for visitors. It seems he and his curse are now safely at rest. Our next file takes us to another extreme landscape, but one that's a little closer to home. Just north of Las Vegas, near the infamous Area 51, You know, the top secret military base that may or may not be hiding UFO wreckage and alien corpses. Anyway, it's here that a lone explorer made a strange discovery that captured the attention of millions on social media.
But then, Kenny Veach vanished without a trace, leaving the world to wonder what happened to him. It's November 10th, 2014. That's Kenny Veach, inventor, dad, loving boyfriend, and extreme hiker.
I just came across these gigantic sweet pine nuts, or pinion nuts, whatever you want to call them. This is the kind of food that saves your life.
It's on one of these extreme hikes that he finds a cave that will change his life. And he shares his extraordinary discovery on social media.
I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a capital M. But as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. Suddenly, I became very, very scared.
Kenny is certain something in the cave is causing the terrifying vibrations, which become more intense as he enters. He finally gives up, running away from the cave all the way home. Kenny's posts about the terrifying experience quickly gain a following. But commenters suggest he is exaggerating, or was just dehydrated. Kenny feels challenged to prove them all wrong.
I talked to some people on YouTube and I told them, hey, I'm coming out here, you know, because they kind of called my hand. And something about that cave just spooked me. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt. I gotta relocate it. If I do, I'm going in there. I'm gonna put on my light, walk in there, see if I find anything. We'll see.
Kenny spends an arduous day looking for the cave with no luck.
I didn't find the cave. I'm not real happy about that. I know it was there. It's a big freaking mountain range. Ow, my legs hurt.
He posts a video of his failed search, but with a promise to not give up.
I'm going again this weekend. I'll be hiking solo for 3 days. I plan on covering about 40 miles.
Kenny's growing fan base encourages his risky return to the desert, although there is one dissenting voice that gets everyone's attention, an ominous warning not to enter the cave, adding that if he does, Kenny will not get out. On November 10th, 2014, Kenny straps on his gun and ventures into the Mojave Desert on another 3-day quest to find the M Cave. This time, he's sure he'll locate it. But 4 days later, Kenny's girlfriend reports him missing. No one will ever see Kenny Veach again. Kenny Veach has gone missing in the desert during his search for a mysterious cave. The Red Rock search and rescue teams are dispatched, and his car is quickly located. Ground teams scour every peak and canyon, but they find nothing. Then, 8 days after Kenny was reported missing, they find his cell phone, which miraculously still has battery life. It is found right next to the derelict mine where he filmed his previous attempt to find the strange M-shaped cave. The authorities lower a camera into the mine shaft, expecting the worst. No trace of Kenny is found.
After many heartbreaking weeks, the official search is called off, and Kenny Veach is assumed dead. But how did he die?
It's possible that Kenny had an accident. Perhaps he was bitten by a snake or succumbed to the elements. But Kenny was an experienced outdoorsman who should not have fallen into misfortune so easily. Some have even suggested that he might have committed suicide. But if he was dead in the desert, why has no one ever found his remains, his clothes, or his camping supplies? The one thing authorities did find, Kenny's cell phone, raises more questions than answers.
Those following Kenny's disappearance find the cell phone discovery odd. Why did it take 8 days to find the phone in such an obvious spot? And how could the phone reportedly have a charged battery after more than a week? Some believe the phone was placed there, but by who and why?
The fact that Area 51 is nearby helps fuel the speculation. Many believe that Kenny got too close to a restricted area, perhaps uncovered a secret that the government could not allow to go public. Some propose that the vibrations Kenny felt were the result of a non-lethal weapon. Some have suggested even alien technology.
So, we got a guy missing, trying to figure out what the truth is.
Ever since Kenny vanished, investigative vlogger Sean Horlocker has been obsessed with solving the case.
So Kenny was talking about finding these caves. He's talking about it a lot, and I believe that's where he got noticed, to where he started getting watched. They knew he was going out there, so I believe the government just flew a couple guys out at night and covered it up.
So this time, as I'm walking through, I'm looking for, you know, not a cave this time. I'm looking for a cover-up. We were all looking for a real cave that was still open. I don't think that's the case anymore. That changes everything.
So while I'm walking down that, maybe it's 4 to 6 miles, I start hearing things walking behind me. I can hear the crunches in the desert. I've been walking out there alone all day long. I know what my echo sounds like. This is different. And I'm looking over there and I can't see anything. And I should be able to see what's standing there. So unless it was laying on the ground, every time I looked over there, I don't know, it wasn't there.
I'm coming up on it right now, though. That's all very natural looking. Here's our spot.
One of the things that drew me to this case was Kenny witnessed something that the government did not want the general public to know about, and maybe why Kenny's not here anymore.
It's right here. I think this is a clever little cover-up. That's not a normal piece of the landscape. This and this aren't really matching up. This is like, looks like it might have been the top of the cave right here. And then this was put here, this was put here, this was put here, this was put here, this was put here. And then down here, you have this seam, and it's got this white stuff in here. It's sort of like a sealant. This is a freaking covered up M cave.
Perhaps the most convincing evidence that this is the M cave was the physical effects Sean experienced after being close to the barricaded entrance.
Something's hitting me right now.
I start getting sick, like deathly ill. This is where that cave was that Kenny witnessed, but it's covered. So when we talk about the cave being covered up, a lot of people think that is some kind of impossible task, and really I don't think it's that hard at all. The area Kenny went hiking in is actually triangulated by 3 military bases. Nellis Air Force Base, Creech Air Force Base, and if you want to call it that, Area 51. It's not really a military base, it's a private base, but a lot of military involvement, obviously. So this is on a national wildlife refuge that sits in between all these places. Creech Air Force Base is right next door, okay? You could easily, at night, fly 2-3 guys in by helicopter with a jackhammer, a couple small tools, and they could easily chip that off and move those rocks over. It also looked like they were kind of fused together, so maybe there was a chemical agent that was used to kind of blend that, or a master mason was there making it look exactly like the mountain, or trying to. And for me, to think that there's not underground operations or tunnels connecting all those bases together is naive. And being someone who's worked in law enforcement for 6 years, just doing that type of work, it's why I didn't like this. It didn't sit well with me. You know, Kenny's got a family, and it's not right. I see someone that goes missing like that, and it felt like injustice. And so it's part of the reason why I went out looking for him. I was a little disappointed that no one else had looked for him. And so I kind of felt obligated to get out there.
Intrigued by Sean's discovery, I've gone back through Kenny's final video before he disappeared.
The kind of cave I'm looking for is deep and it's dark.
I wanted to see if he recorded this same strange rock formation, or perhaps it was still an open cave. And there it is. It seems Kenny really was at the exact same strange place Sean found. Even more haunting, listen to what Kenny says as he seems to pause here 10 years ago.
It's about level with the ground, like in an area like this. So I really got to keep my eyes peeled because I don't want to pass it.
If this is the M Cave, it's as if Kenny instinctively knew where it should be. Whatever happened that day in the desert, there is one thing we can sincerely say. Wherever Kenny is, we hope he's at peace. I'm Džoš Gejts. Until next time, travel adventurously.